how do you structure your studio days? Talk us through your routines, your best practices, and maybe tell us some stories of others you've worked with who do it differently. Are
I,
you a day person, a night
yeah,
person?
I'm not I've done stretches of, I was really big into rap production. About 6 years ago, I put out an EP called California, which had like Trippie Redd and XXX and Lil Peep and all the young rappers here, and I had to do those sessions where
And
I
they
was
all
like out, you know. I remember being with Juicy J and Two Chains, and they don't even get to the studio till like 3 a.m.
right.
It's like going to dinner in Ibiza or something. People in Spain don't eat dinner till like 1 a.m.
Yeah, very unhealthy.
Yeah, it doesn't work. I've been in studios. I remember being in the studio with Future, and this is when Travis Scott was just like the drum guy. I remember being a Nightbird. That's a famous studio here in West Hollywood that all the rappers were using. And Future didn't get there. I was there. He's like, session starts at 8 o'clock. I get there. Me and Travis are just like in the lobby, kind of like I'm meeting him, learning about his drum programming. And Future gets there around 2. I'm like, oh, cool. We can work with Future now. I play like 2 beats, and he's like, I'm gonna go smoke. And then he walks out, and I'm like just there making music on my own. And then another guy comes in and grabs Future's bag, and then the Future never comes back. So that's like kind of like that's like a typical session with a rapper. But if you consistently do that, Future will stay. Like on day 5, he might, if you keep showing up, they're gonna show up too. Or even like Post Malone. I remember working on records with him a couple of years ago, and like I've never drank that many beers, And eventually I'm like, is it worth it to my health to like stay out that late with rappers? And yeah, it was for a little while because I got a lot of work done. But now I kind of make my own hours.
So in an ideal world, what would you, if you're
In an
making music?
ideal world, I wake up. I like to just exercise, like work out. I mean, I'm old now. I have to get active an hour a day, or I don't feel good.
Yeah.
I think as you get older, the best like way to combat a bad mental health is just staying fit and staying busy. Even if it doesn't mean making music, it means like going for a walk or going for a run or spending time with your children, whatever it is. Make that time as much as you can. You can't just be locked in the studio for 16 hours. But people don't realize making music is like the fucking longest days ever. Like if you are really out there grinding, taking flights, working in the studio, it feels like this is like, yeah, this house is beautiful, but you really have to spend plus 12 hours on your schedule to make things happen. I remember being in the studio with Madonna. That was like one of my first, where I was working on the Rebel Heart album with her. And I'm used to like making a little thing, going into the room, going to have a cigarette or whatever, come back, and she's like, "Where do you keep leaving for? Like, you need to stay here with me, and like, we need like 4 hours on this verse." Like, and I'm like, "Yeah, you're right." She comes from the old school where you go, probably when she was working with Jelly Bean Benita, you like go in the studio and you're like in the studio in that room for 10 hours for like 8 days straight
Yeah.
to get 3 songs done, and that's a lot. That's an art that a lot of people don't understand. Like, you still have to, because we're so quick now. We're like, there's an idea, I'll send you a beat, maybe it comes back, I'll work on it a little bit. But back in the day, you had to be in that session with those artists and those musicians for hours.
Yeah.
You look at some of those sessions like the Beatles or the Beach Boys, or these guys are like in the studio jamming for 5 days straight to make an arrangement.
Does the best stuff you've made tend to be when you're in the room with the creatives, or
No, I made stuff where I made it a voice note and
right.
I fuck it up, and everything is different. You just gotta try all of it, because the way I work, I'm a producer, so I'm gonna modify my style to whoever I'm working with.
Right.
That's what a great producer can do, because your job is to manipulate that person to make the best record. If you have to trick them, dig up an old record, say that's a great record, and move on to the next one, you just got to keep it moving and get the record.
How was it when you worked with someone like Paul Wolford? Did you see, you're staying here and he's staying there, and you never meet in the room, or you,
Yeah, Paul sent me, when we first did our first song with Kareen, Paul sent me that piano line, and I only knew Paul as special requests, so I didn't know he actually was a melodic house guy. He sent me that piano line. I'm like, yo, this is great. I can write melodies to this. It was like just a great fucking line. We were working with this new girl named Kareen. We were trying to sign
you
her.
told me about her years
She was
ago, like
badass.
yeah.
I was just so good. And we had a session. We were like, yo, I got this idea. I had like a little melody line on it, and me and her sat there for 2 hours, and we came up with that. I sent the vocals straight to Paul. Next day, it was done, mixed and ready to go. Because Paul already sent me a record that was pretty much mixed. It was already ready to go. He did some adjustments on the drums and things like that. But basically, I just helped write the record. I wasn't producing that record at all, but I was, still creating with him.
Yeah, but you found the singer, and yeah.
Yeah, I came up with the concept, and I didn't understand that record. It was one of my biggest records in the UK. and it's a very minimal record. And I remember playing it, and I never really played in America that well, but I went there. I think I might have played a warehouse project or something, and people were singing the oh yeah, like loud,
Yeah, yeah.
because the English people, they fucking lock into a melody, and they just like it's like soccer chant, you know. Paul Cott, he knows how to make those things happen.
Yeah.